What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update of Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame right now. I really wanted to zoom in and look at some patterns and potentially look at the direction that Bitcoin's going to be going. And what I want to do here was pay some attention to the consolidation areas. I don't think a lot of people pay attention to this and determine how long these consolidation areas can be after we've made an explosive move to the upside. If we go back and we take a look at this previous uptrend that we had here on the 4-hour time frame, typically the consolidation area before we got that next move to the upside, it was around 28 days. So we're going to call it almost a month of consolidation moving sideways before we got that next explosive move to the upside. Out of this symmetrical triangle that we were in for so long, this just drove me crazy as a content creator, guys, when we were just moving sideways for so long. But this was 78 days that we had of sideways consolidation in this symmetrical triangle. And now what we're having is basically this rising channel that we've been dealing with here. And this has been for about 21 days that we've been working up in this channel. And something else I wanted to point out to you, typically in these ranges, as we bounce back and forth, right now our high up here was around 12,561. Our low around 10,508. Last time in the symmetrical triangle, we were bouncing between $10,500 and roughly that $8,100. So in these ranges or channels or symmetrical triangles or consolidation areas that we get into, a lot of the times you can have these swings of $1,000 to $2,000 from the top overhead resistance to the bottom support that you're looking at here. And what you can see is that we've been working up in this channel. So this is a spot where we definitely need a bounce off of so we can start trying to move and tackle the top area of this channel here if we zoom in for us. You know, what's been troubling, guys, or what's been a little bit tougher here for us is the fact that on the 4-hour now we're starting to get one of those red crosses as our moving averages are now crossing down through each other. And a lot of times when that happens, you can get pressed pretty hard to the downside. And that could maybe even be enough to start pressing us back down, you know, into some of these lower areas like 11,350 is going to be my first area of support. And then it'd be down around 11,100. That's areas I would put in alarms if I were you guys, just so you would know if you are starting to drop down into those areas. In terms of overhead resistance, what we have to get up over top of now is going to be $11,700. Then it's going to be up around that 11,886, and then ultimately up around that 12,530. But this is typically what Bitcoin does after explosive moves like we had. You can see that explosive move. We're going to have some time consolidating. I think that's where we're at right now, that we just need to be patient. We need to, you know, for long-term investors, this is where we still want to be able to sit in those positions and patiently wait for that next explosive move, potentially to the upside, if we can get that. If we have a massive drop down into the $10,500 range, I believe more people are going to support that area right down in here. That could be a buying opportunity for people, even back down to that $10,000. If we take a look at our RSI here on the 4-hour time frame, what you can see is our price was pushing up and our price was rising while we had that negative divergence that was taking place. But our RSI has cooled down all the way to 40 now, which is a really good thing for us because that would give us enough room to make that next leg to the upside. Because remember, guys, it's all about higher highs and higher lows. That's what we're looking for here. And what we were trying to do is find support. The previous area that we get a lot of bounces off on the RSI for the 4-hour when we're in uptrends is right around that 30-35 range, and we actually came down and we pegged that the other day and we hit it. So that was really important for us. But what you can see with the technicals here sitting at 11,545, we are almost dead neutral. We're just patiently waiting. And what you see here is an 8 sell, 9 neutral, 11 buy, oscillators, 1 sell, 8 neutral, 2 buy, moving averages 7 sell, 1 neutral, and a 9 buy is what we're looking at there. And I believe people are patiently waiting this consolidation out so that we potentially can get that next strong move to the upside. But it may even take more of this retracement to get back to that area of 12,530 so we can build up for that. Because, guys, that's what a lot of this is that the markets have to cool down so that you can make the next explosive move either to the upside or the downside. It always happens, just like back here. This is kind of what I've been pegging and looking at here. We had this explosive move. We had a rising channel, just like this here, and then we had another explosive move. Right here, we're looking at explosive move. We're having a rising channel as we cool off, as we cool things down. Last time we started cooling things down once the RSI got to 88, just like that this time. And then we started to have that negative divergence before we got that next explosive move to the upside. And that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Patiently waiting, maybe another week or two in this channel. But I do believe we're going to go back up here and we're going to try to test that 12,530, see if we can get over top of that, because there's a lot of room to run over top. If we can get through that 12,500, we'd be up to about 14,000 there, and then that can really open things up to get to that all-time high of 20,000. And a lot of times traders will look at those big gaps and and if there's big gaps to the upside or big gaps to the downside, a lot of times the market will get pushed to that direction. Okay, something I always pay a lot of attention to. And another thing I wanted you to be aware of, typically when we do have these retracements and uptrends, we can come back and peg this 60 moving average, which is in green. A lot of times, sometimes you can even drop down through it, but a lot of times you will peg that before you get that next move to the upside. And you can see we have not retraced that much yet. We have retraced back to this 30 moving average yesterday. We put in almost like a little harami candle. We're going to have to wait to see if we get continuation today. We have dropped below the 15 moving average on the 1-day time frame. That's acting as overhead resistance. Now we're trying to find support off this 30, but if we were to pull back onto that 60, that's going to put us back around almost that $10,600 range, that $10,500 range. That was previous resistance that we would want to continue to keep as support. That'd be the main area for me, guys. If all hell breaks loose, we're going to be looking down to 10,500, then that psychological $10,000 to hold if we do have that downside break. Pay a lot of attention to those, because that's really going to be a key area to see if we get one of those massive basically bounces off that key area. So that's what I wanted to bring to you guys today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful Sunday. Take care and watch these areas.